gathering, first for the vigils and then for weekly protests, we could not imagine that we'd still be here more than 10 months after October 7. And yet here we are, being asked what our plans are for an event for October 7, 2024. We are still mourning and are very, very angry. Angrier every day. We are angry that the hostages are languishing, dying and being executed by Hamas or killed by our own military, going through God knows what, with deal after deal on the table, and a leader who will do everything in his power to perpetuate this war. We are furious that Gaza is being decimated to the extent that new massacres barely make the news anymore. We are livid that the north of Israel is going up in flames. And we are bereft that the government of messianic lunatics, the government that went MIA during October 7 and was responsible for it, is still the one in power and only amassing more of it.
Shame! 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 Shame!
As we convene here, the leaders are still pretending to discuss a ceasefire, now in Cairo, with Netanyahu refusing to even ceasefire for the course of the negotiations themselves, let alone make any meaningful concessions or promise an end to the fighting after a ceasefire. Unsurprisingly, we learned this morning that Hamas is rejecting the deal. The prices that civilians in the region are paying are getting higher and higher the longer Netanyahu and Sinwar refuse to end this war. Last night, the IDF attacked southern Lebanon in what it proclaimed was a preventative measure for the intended Hezbollah retaliation to the assassination of two of their leaders in the beginning of the month. Hezbollah, on its end, has fired over 150 missiles into Israel territory since last night. In Israeli territorial waters, an Israeli Navy man was killed. In southern Lebanon, at least 3 people have been killed. Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant has declared an emergency situation for the next 48 hours. 71 people who were killed in airstrikes in Gaza since early Saturday morning. This barely made a dent in the news cycle. Neither do the soldiers, only a year after high school, returning in coffins every day from a fight they did not choose, only to be replaced with fresh cannon fodder for a war where everybody loses, so Netanyahu can win. These are hard sentences to say. They feel almost inhumane. But the inhumane part is the reality. The inhuman part is that we can no longer even keep track of how many times the people of Gaza have been displaced and then killed while seeking safety. The inhumane part is that the hostages are dying in captivity. This week, the bodies of Israeli hostages Alex Danzig, Yagev Buchstev, Chaim Perry, Yoram Metzger, Nadav Popelwell, and Avraham Mundel were retrieved from the tunnels in Gaza by the IDF and brought back to Israel. These are all hostages who were known to be alive well after October 7. Alex Danzig and Yagev Buchstev had been confirmed dead by the IDF in late July, while Chaim Perry, Yoram Metzger, and Nadav Popelwell were declared dead by the army in early June. Avraham Mundel had not been previously declared dead. Autopsies showed that bullets were found in the bodies, according to the IDF, raising the probability of the hostages being executed by their captors as an IDF operation was taking place near where they were being held. It is mortifying to know that these innocent human souls could have been saved in a hostage deal and brought back to be reunited with their families, not in coffins. Later this week, Netanyahu and his wife Sarah, who was there and everywhere for some reason, met for the first time with women who were taken hostage and returned in the November hostage deal. After one of the former hostages told Bibi she had been tortured and beaten by Hamas, Netanyahu had the audacity to describe his time in simulated captivity while in training for the IDF, supposedly trying to relate to her pain. When another hostage said she wants a deal, he replied that he wants to be able to walk to Italy on foot, but it is impossible without drawing the sea. Busha! 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 Shame! 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 Shame!
Shame!
It is as if any connection between this man and human emotions, such as empathy and compassion, is just non-existent. We are dealing with a man who lost any touch with the human experience other than his own twisted story, and tragically, he is the pilot. This week he decided to finally meet up with representatives of the attacked communities. 5 of the communities sent representatives, 8 refused to take part. This week, the government announced their plan to hold a memorial ceremony for the 1-year anniversary of October 7 that will be planned and organized by the infamous Minister of Transport, Enticement, and Shirking of Responsibility, Miri Regev. The ceremony will be held without an audience. If this sounds like a North Korea-style ceremony to you, it's because it is. Family members of the hostages, as well as many communities that were targeted on October 7th, announced that they will not participate in the ceremony and that the government should instead focus on returning the hostages. And Regev's response? I'm ignoring the background noises. Shame! Shame!
Shame! Shame! Shame! Shame! Shame!
Another background noise the government is ignoring, when not actively protecting and emboldening, is the Jewish territories, the Jewish terrorists, the hilltop youth of the occupied West Bank. Only yesterday, masked settlers carried out attacks in 2 villages in the West Bank, Susia and Rujeb, on a Saturday of all days, quite a mitzvah to attempt during the day of rest. They entered homes and attacked Palestinians, among them a woman, threw stones and burned land. So far, of course, no one was arrested. Because why would Ben Gvir's private militia arrest their own?
Busha! 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 Shame! Shame!
So, what do we currently have? The north is on fire and largely evacuated. A whole country still awaiting anxiously near their bomb shelters, assuming retaliation, also by Iran, is still coming. Right-wing militias treating the country and the occupied territories as their own, and why shouldn't they? Being protected and galvanized by the army and the police, who are much busier arresting anti-government protesters, or even just those wearing a watermelon shirt, than actual terrorist murderers. But what else is new? A hostage deal that is itself still being held hostage by Bibi. A judicial overhaul attempt that is not only not stopped after the events of the past year, but is brought back to the table on turbo by the Justice Minister. While we know that this is all overwhelming, this is not all that is happening right now in Israel-Palestine. The horrible news just keeps coming, so it is overwhelming. It is drowning. But we cannot let the doom scrolling and despair stop us from fighting for what is right. So we are here to say, take the deal.
Take the deal.
Take the deal.
Take the deal. Take the deal. Take the deal. Take the deal. Take the deal. Take the deal.
We are here to say, ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now! 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 Ceasefire now!
We are here to say, hostage deal now. Save Gaza. Prevent another war on all fronts. Save the children.
Save the children! Save the children! Save the children! Save the children!
and every Sunday to amplify our peace community and families back home who have been protesting every day, who are being skunked, beaten up and arrested in their attempts to fight this government, end this war, and end the occupation. We are here to support the families of the hostages who are arrested when all they're saying is seal the deal. We are here in solidarity with our Palestinian and Israeli siblings on the ground, fighting for a better future for everyone between the river and the sea. And today we're thrilled to have two speakers from Palestine, Israel join us, Osama and Rotem, who will share the reality on the ground and offer ideas about a path towards a future where everyone is free and safe. Thank you everyone for showing week after week, showing up. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. In the heat, in the rain, in every condition, you are here, and it is meaningful. Thank you.
Our futures intertwine, Israel and Palestine.
No military solution. There is 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 no military solution. There
Over the past 10 months, Tamal, one of the co-founders of Israelis for Peace, has been standing here and raising the voice of her friend from Gaza, whose name she has to protect for her safety, with whom she's been running a small direct donation program for the past 7+ years. This week, Tamar is not here, but her friend sent her this message. More than 10.5 months without any real change in the current situation. The massacres are still ongoing, and the displacement are not stopped. Today, the IDF informed the residents of Magazi and Musara areas to evacuate. And the question that is always repeated is, where are all these people going? We always repeat that there are no safe areas in the southern Gaza Strip. You all know that the tents of the displaced, schools, mosques, and church were bombed. Aren't all these places supposed to be safe? Everyone has gotten used to the scene, and the news about Gaza has become boring for some. But believe me, your humanity requires you to break your silence and take decisive and radical measures. The killing of children, women, and the elderly is a crime against all meanings of humanity, rejected by international and humanitarian law. So this genocide must be stopped immediately before it's too late. Has any one of you asked yourself how women live in their day in war? I will answer you without shame. We women are living the worst days of our lives. Imagine that most women in Gaza can only shower once a week, and if a woman is lucky, she will shower twice. You can also imagine that owning some personal hygiene powders is an obscene wealth inside the displacement camps, because they are not widely available in the markets and their exuberant prices. And this confirms to everyone that women and everyone else also suffer from personal hygiene problems, and this matter warns of a health disaster. Food and clean water are all things that are difficult for anyone to own here. My brothers and sisters in this protest, please do not get used to scenes of our extermination and successive massacres. Stay by our side and continue to remind all governments of the world that the two people reject war, and that those who impose it on us are war criminals and must be punished and imprisoned. We deserve to live a better life. Do not leave us, and continue to struggle for freedom and humanity, and to end the conflict forever. Thank you for your hearts and humanity.
Let Gaza live! 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 All kids deserve to play! Ceasefire! Ceasefire today! 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 All kids deserve to play! Ceasefire! Ceasefire today!
Hi everyone. So I am going to read a speech by Zahil Shachalmo, whose uncle Avram Munder was taken hostage alive to Gaza by Hamas on October 7th. This week his body was returned to Israel. Okay. Okay. They told me to talk louder, so here I will. Anyway. Of the 6 hostages' corpses that were returned to Israel this week, Avram Munder was the only one who was not previously known to be dead. So this was particularly shocking. His nephew is part of a group of hostage families that have been protesting vociferously against the government and the blockage against the deal. They're called the Begin Bridge families, because of where they protest, and these were his words after he found out this really terrible news. This week we buried heroes. each one a world entire. This accursed week of funerals must be the last. The Zionist dream was buried more than once this week, abandoned to die slowly in front of our eyes, much to our frustrations, in the tunnels of Gaza. They knew they were abandoned. It's almost a year, and very few are left of the many who are no longer among us. Israel has shaken off statehood. It doesn't protect us. The provinces of Judea, of Samaria, in short, Benjamin, are sweeping the state of Israel into an abyss of extremism, an abyss of fascism, while ignoring every historical lesson and kicking any Jewish value to the curb. The blood of the hostages is on their hands. With zealous enthusiasm, ecstatic dancing, and slogans not worthy of being repeated, the blood of the forsaken is on their hands. Happily ascending to the Holy Temple Mount, rebelling joyously against the nations of the world, they draw us a picture of the future, a picture of endless war with endlessly fluid goals. Myopic, ignorant of history, they applaud the isolation of Israel from the rest of the nations of the world as the beginning of the redemption. They are in the midst of a holy war, one in which we are only starting to feel their lunacy. Under the auspices of a mistaken interpretation of divine rules and unscrupulous rabbis, this darkness is taken over. In the district of Judah, there is no policing, no law, no judge nor jury. Everyone does whatever they deem right in their own eyes. In Benjamin, which is just a footnote, it is actually the name of the district that a large portion of settlements exist in, including the ones in the Judean hills and Hebron. People commit violent pogroms weekly with the stated goal of inflaming the area and expanding their control, and arrests, there are none. This is a miraculous period for them. Our fracture is their miracle. Do you feel the miracle? Just like there's no police, there also isn't an army. Up to October 6th, we all knew that if you even ever so lightly touched the wall separating Israel and Gaza, half of the IDF would appear. Remember? We all knew there was an army. But to our shame, it turned out that what there was were armed militias which enact messianic ideologies without operational directives or clear goals, but with a deep belief in the Lord of hosts and lots of American bombs. I'm quoting, and here he quotes Orit Struk, whose official title is Minister of National Missions. For me, this is a miraculous time. We are experiencing a miracle, and we want to get as much done as possible in the land of Israel in general, and specifically in the Hebron Hills. This is a holy mission. Kibbutz Manara, 80 years of cultivation burnt down and abandoned. Kibbutz Nir Oz will turn 80 in a year. All that labor and bravery is burned to the ground, and its community bleeding, massacred and scorched. And to the Minister of National Missions, mother of the ones who kick you in the nuts, this is a miraculous era. Religious Zionism entered an unholy pact with Benjamin Netanyahu and his camp, lost its way, and is dragging Israel and the entire region down. And on the way, it is betraying every Israeli, liberal, human value in its messianic, fundamentalist fervor. In the 90s of the last century, a false messiah entered our lives. There are people who do not recall life before he incited, cheated, lied, corrupted, betrayed, let blood, and inherited. Jews, unfortunately, have a long history of following false messiahs. Benjamin Netanyahu is the false messiah of our time. The people of Israel won't forget nor forgive. During his captivity, with great insight, Chaim Peri, may his memory be for a blessing, said, "This will take at least 2 years because it's Bibi and because we're leftists." Under the guise of national unity, Benjamin is forsaking the people. Under the guise of sovereignty, the government of Israel handed over the people to bitter enemies and abandoned them there. History will judge them. Their great-grandchildren will judge them. This week, we buried heroes, each one a wondrous world that we remember in its entirety. We will remember them all. We will remember Chaim Peri, Yoram Metzger, Nadav Popolov, Yagav Buchstein, Alex Danzig, and my dear beloved uncle, a hero in Israel, Avram Munder. In their abandonment and in their deaths, they have commanded us to continue the struggle. Thank you.
They are running out of time. Netanyahu must resign. We are running out of time. Netanyahu must resign. We are running out of time. Netanyahu must resign. We are running out of time. Netanyahu must resign. We are running out of time. Netanyahu must resign. We are running out of time. Netanyahu must resign. They are running out of time. Netanyahu must resign. Lama Hamadai Gaza. 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 החטופים בעזה יותר מדי ימים. הדם על הידיים של ממשלת הדמים. החטופים בעזה יותר מדי ימים. הדם על הידיים של ממשלת הדמים. החטופים בעזה יותר מדי ימים. הדם על הידיים של ממשלת הדמים. החטופים בעזה יותר מדי ימים. הדם על הידיים של ממשלת הדמים. Take your fingers off the trigger, war can never have a winner. Take your fingers off the trigger, war can never have a winner. Take your finger off the trigger, war can never have a winner. Take your finger off the trigger, war can never have a winner. Take your finger off the trigger, war can never have a winner. Take your finger off the trigger, war can never have a winner. Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Bring them home! Bring them home! Bring them home! Bring them home! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Thank you, as always, to Israelis for Peace for providing us with this space to grieve all the lives lost since October 7th. Every single one, a whole universe, Kol Adam Olam Umlo'o, as Hirsch Goldberg Poland's parents reminded us last week. To call for the ceasefire and hostage release deal that can end this war, and to imagine a future for Israelis and Palestinians based on mutual recognition, peace, safety, and freedom. I'm New York City Controller Brad Lander, and I spent the past week in Chicago at the Democratic National Convention, where I found myself frequently thinking about this space. On Wednesday night, I wept in the aisle while Rachel Goldberg and John Poland spoke about Hirsch, as did so many other delegates. I've heard them before, and I'm in awe of their courage, just as I am of so many other family members of hostages, including many who we've listened to right here, including Ayala Metzger, daughter-in-law of Yoram Metzger, one of the bodies that was recovered this week, who's active with Kulanu Hatufim. We are all hostages. And you can see in every moment how their hearts break thinking about their family members and how desperately they want them to come home, to come back. And yet, they still find a way to make clear, as the Goldberg-Polins did on Wednesday, that the surplus of agony that they feel includes the children of Gaza, so many killed, so many maimed, so many now orphans. But hearing from Israelis about Palestinians is not enough, even when they are expressing empathy. It is necessary to hear from Palestinians themselves as well. And that's why I joined the call, and I was glad to see that Israelis for Peace did too, for Democrats to hear from Palestinians. It would have been so much better if a Palestinian had spoken from the DNC stage alongside the Goldberg-Polins, who could have spoken of their own pain, of the family members they have lost, and also shown that they too see the pain of their Israeli neighbors, that they too long for peace. It would have been a real opportunity to point the way forward to the kind of mutual recognition that we need there and that we need so urgently here. Several possible speakers were proposed who are Palestinian American elected officials, like Georgia State Representative Ruah Roman, whose poignant remarks given outside the arena were published in Mother Jones, who endorsed and aligned clearly with Vice President Harris. And because of our many weeks together here, I had in my head some of the many Palestinian speakers who we've been blessed to listen to. People like Aziz Abu Sara, who spoke alongside Maoz Inon and who told us, we both know the cost because we both have lost family members, and we don't want anybody else to have that kind of feeling. We don't want any more tears. We don't want any more drops of blood because our tears are as bitter and our blood is the same color and our feelings are the same. Or Sally Abed, one of the leaders of Standing Together, organizing every day to build a movement for radical empathy, who told us we need to stop talking about pro-Israel and pro-Palestine. We need to be pro-people. We need a new story. We deserve a new story. Or Amira Mohammed, who spoke here just about a month ago, who told us we need to understand that when 6-year-old Hind was murdered by multiple shots by the Israeli army, we all lost a child. We all did. When 3-year-old Reem was dug up from the rubble, we all lost a child. And when 23-year-old Hirsch was kidnapped, she said, we all have a child in captivity. We need to understand, she said, that Israeli security comes hand in hand with Palestinian liberation, hand in hand. Settler violence, occupation is a poison that's in all our waters, Israeli and Palestinian alike. As a matter of fact, Amira said right here, it's getting here as well. The polarization here in the U.S. from what's happening back home is also unacceptable. And we're going to hear today from another Palestinian and another Israeli speaker who show us models of that kind of mutual humanity that we so urgently need, as the Goldberg-Polins said, in signs that we could have on a sign here in a competition of pain. There are no winners. All that said, I do think it's important to recognize that Vice President Harris's heartfelt words in her acceptance speech would also align with what we say right here. And when she said we are working to end this war such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination, those words got some of the loudest applause of any inside the convention center, just as they would right here in Union Square. And I'll just end with this. You know, there were a lot of remarkable moments at the convention, but the ones that I'll remember most were the ones that spoke to me as a father. It was watching Cole and Ella, the Emhoff kids, talk about their dad and him talk about them. Or that moment when Gus Walls said, "That's my dad," with tears streaming down his eyes. And you can tell that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz love their children and that they want a future for all children just as safe, just as vibrant, just as protected as their own. And I want us to believe that that includes every Israeli child, that that includes Hirsch Goldberg Poland, and every Palestinian child in Gaza and the West Bank, all those orphans whose pictures are in the pages of the New York Times this weekend because their parents were killed in Gaza. Those are the kids that I want us to think about alongside all of our kids. And that's why what I'm committed to do for the next 72 days is get out there and make sure we make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. But I'm going to keep coming here as well to demand the ceasefire and hostage release deal, to demand the Biden-Harris administration push until it happens, to keep fighting until we make sure that every one of our kids is understood as B'Tselem Elohim, as equally created in God's image. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Brett. All kids deserve to play. Ceasefire, ceasefire today. All kids deserve to play. Ceasefire, ceasefire today. All kids deserve to play. Ceasefire, ceasefire today. All kids deserve to play. All kids deserve to play. Ceasefire, ceasefire today. All kids deserve to play. Ceasefire, ceasefire today. Our futures are intertwined, Israel and Palestine. Futures are intertwined, Israel and Palestine. Our 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 futures are intertwined, Israel and Palestine. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Osama, I'm Palestinian. I came here prepared to say something, but after being here and seeing these faces, many nations, many religions, many generations are standing together, I lost my words. So I will try to talk from my heart and to tell you how much I'm touched by seeing brothers and sisters, especially the Israelis, the Jewish community, standing for a human right, leaving their victimhood aside and all the stories, and think about the humans as humans, not thinking who's right and who's wrong, getting out of the victimhood competition that we are always in, and try to stand for humanity. That makes me believe the hope exists again. after all this period of losing hope and losing people and losing friends and losing beliefs in human rights, children rights, women rights, all these rights that we always used to sell to the world and I used to believe in, suddenly it melts. So I am a Palestinian. I grew up most of my life, did not know anything about the Israeli people. I live separated. My rights are different. My schools are different. My language is different. And that's why I did not know anything about the Israelis during my whole life, more than full armed soldiers. And that's how I used to see Judaism. That's how Israel represents Judaism to me. Force, arms, tanks, jails. That was the only thing I knew about them. And that's what makes me hater. That's what makes me refuse their existence. That's what makes me refuse their rights and keep fighting violently and non-violently. And I fight violently not because I'm a violent person, because when you grow up in a violent environment where soldiers are in front of your school, front of your house, your father is beaten, your uncle is beaten, don't expect from me to be the most peaceful child in the world. Yeah, and in 2010, it happened to me to meet Israelis. And it was the first time that I heard from Israeli people that my existence is legal, that they accept and recognize my existence and my narrative and my fears and my pain. And that's where I started to shift and to allow myself to feel them and to see them and to see their narrative. Because peace is a place where two narratives can meet and accept each other. And since then, I went and I'm fighting with Israelis all the time in non-violent ways in order to change our situation. But I think sometimes Israelis don't understand that you can't change the situation as long as there is occupation. I can't heal my child trauma as long as he's still living in this trauma every single day. It's not right to put people in small cities without rights, without freedom of movement, where the Jewish settlers living next to them have all the rights just because of their race. This is racism, and it doesn't work. And this system is not serving anyone. It's just endangering the Jewish people, same way it endangers the Palestinians. And it creates enemies, and we will keep fight forever. The time the system will serve everyone the same way and see us all as human beings, we all deserve rights, then our situation will change. We know that. No one gonna leave the land. Yeah, Israelis are not going to disappear. Palestinians are not going to disappear. And now the period of who's owning the land, I think it should be done. And start to think about how we all belong to the land and there is no ownership. And it's time to united Israelis and Palestinians to fight for everyone. Because as long as we don't hear the other side narrative, the Israelis or the Palestinians, if we don't allow ourselves to listen to their fears and to their pain, don't expect from them to listen to yours. Our fight should be liberation for all. Our fight should be liberation for humanity. And we need to understand two things when we want to fight. That Israelis will never be safe on the land as long as Palestinians are not free. and Palestinians will not be free as long as Israelis are not safe. So we are here to call everyone to carry one sign. Yeah, from the river to the sea, everyone should be safe and equal and free. Thank you very much.
From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. Freedom and equality. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. From the river to the sea, freedom and equality. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go.
Wow. So first I want to say I'm so proud of you. Like, it gives me so much energy and motivation to continue when I see so many Israelis who fight for justice, who fight for our collective liberation, Israelis and Palestinians, who understand that no one will be safe as long as one single person is not free on this land. So thank you. My name is Rotem. I was born in Israel in a small village not far from Tel Aviv. And like many of you, I believe, I was raised in a militarized society. A society that made me believe that the only way to be safe on this land is by going to serve in the army and be part of this collective effort. The cousin of my mom was killed as a soldier, and the narrative was that he was the hero of the family, that he sacrificed his life so we can live safely in the homeland. And I was very motivated to go and be the next hero, to fight for our safety. And I was recruited to the army and I served 3 years. And luckily I wasn't killed or traumatized or had to fight anyone, but it was just luck. A year after I finished my army service, I was lucky to get to know Palestinians on a very intimate meeting for 10 days. We sat in Germany and shared our feelings, our narratives. And this experience basically changed my life. I heard first time about the Nakba, about the catastrophe in 48, about the ethnic cleansing, and I had the opportunity to share about my narrative, about the Holocaust, about what we Jews have been through. And it was first a healing experience, but second I felt as if I have to continue this path. I cannot stay silent after I realized what is happening. And since then, for 11 years, I'm trying to spread this message that first we have to acknowledge each other's narratives. We have to recognize the catastrophes of each other, and we have to fight together. We have to fight together because it is possible to be united also in this time. We don't have to be only Israelis here. We can find a way to be together. So I came back from Germany and I was lucky again to meet Palestinians from the West Bank, and I decided to move to live in the West Bank with my new friends. And all my family, all my friends said that I lost my mind, that they will kill you and it's not safe and what are you, crazy? But I was convinced that I just trusted these people because they were my friends. And after few months or a year in this town in the West Bank, I started to understand Arabic, and I wasn't afraid as much as I used to be, because I realized they are only people, they are not my enemy. And once I recognized their reality, their existence, they recognized mine. And suddenly it was very strange, because I was on the other side of the wall, but this wall is supposed to protect me. But somehow I felt more protected on the other side than the way I felt all my life on the Israeli side. And my whole perspective about how we can live on this land together changed. And I think we must challenge the narrative of security by a military force. This is not protecting anyone. The wall doesn't protect anyone because there are tens of thousands of workers who enter every day. If they want to attack us, they can. The weapons will not protect anyone, they just create more people who are losing everything in Gaza, in the West Bank. And once you lose everything, once you lose your family, your home, yes, some will choose violence as a revenge. We know it from both sides, and we have to stop this circle of revenge. And my last message to the Americans: please, please, please stop sending us weapons. It doesn't protect anyone. You don't protect the Israelis. What you do is you sacrifice the Israelis for your interests. This is what you are doing, and we need a different support. Thank you.
Military solution!
So first of all, thank you, Osama and Otem. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the amazing work that you're doing around the world. Otem and Osama are currently on tour, and they have a lot of engagements in New York. Some of them already happened, but some of them has not. So So if you want to have some more chances to hear them, we want to let you know, first of all, tomorrow in Brooklyn, in Congregation Bet Elohim at 7 p.m. You don't need to register. Just show up at 7 p.m. in CVE. And then you have some more events that I don't remember on the top of my head. But you can follow they have a new Instagram. It's called saltoftheearth.org. So look them up, follow them, and you can see all the dates of their other engagements in New York and other places. They are volunteers. So you know the nature of volunteering is that you don't get paid by anyone. Therefore, they need money. They have a fundraiser you can donate to. It's a GoFundMe. We have the QR code here if you're able to. That would be amazing. They also accept cash and PayPal, so I've heard. And you can either donate now or in one of the events where you'll see them later in the week. So you can scan those QR codes here. We also have our own WhatsApp group. You already are probably familiar with it. You can join if you're not part of the group. It's very quiet. We only send one twice a week about the demonstration. And now before we end, let's do our little picture formation. George, what's the best location today?
Same as always, like right here.
Okay, right under the statue. So we're going to create a few lines, squeeze together so it looks the biggest possible. With the sign.
Will you join our picture?
Love to have your information.
Say the name of the website? The Instagram account. Salt of the Earth? No, she. There were somebody else.
Come on, everyone, join the picture. We need everyone.
I can paint the picture, but we have a photographer. Not bad.
Well, there's red with salt.
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Bring them home now! Bring them home now!
Bring them home now!
Bring them home
Now! Bring them home now!
Bring them home
Now!
Bring them home! There is no military solution!
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 War has no winners!
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 את כולם!
עכשיו!
את כולם!
עכשיו!
את כולם!
עכשיו!
את הילדים!
עכשיו!
את הגברים!
עכשיו!
את הנשים!
עכשיו!
את כולם!
עכשיו!
את כולם!
עכשיו!
תגיד גולן! תיקח גולן!
Our futures are intertwined! Israel and Palestine!
Israel!
again, you can scan all the different codes, donate money.
Donate money.
Oh, important notice, next week we do not